The question is, how and why did I have to change my rear cassette? Before you begin, you're going to need some tools. This is to hold the gear while you stop them rotating, or do we use this wrenchy thing tool to take out the locking nut. Of course, you're also going to need a set of cassette sprocket set. This is 8 gear, 11 and 32 teeth, 11 on the smallest ring and 32 on the largest. Best to have a pair of gloves as well handy for not getting your hands all greasy. First things first, we've got to remove the back wheel. Like I said, it's a greasy job. Yes. I think you should have that to the smallest gear, but never mind. So we've got the back wheel off. So we have to remove this. Oh, try not to lose that little spring. Oh, where's he gone? There. Next we want to attach our chain locking device and our lock. Sorry, our socket, which has to be for this particular Shimano type cassette, and use your arms. You put your hand on this left hand here, right hand going down, and then push down so as you're turning this bolt anti-clockwise. So you're going out like that, and that's it. That's it, loose. Ooh, there we go. So the tool's done the trick. I had to remove the little cap that was on there. That was all that just pulls off, and then you can insert it. As I say, this is the right one for this gear, so it fitted nicely. Yeah, that just follows. There we have it. Just to reaffirm, what you're actually undoing is not the nut in the middle. That nut is holding the spindle. The actual item you've released is this locking nut or washer, and that's what's located on here. So that's what you've undone, and that's what's released all those gears. Just to be clear, they're even all the way round, but if you notice as I go round, one of them is narrower, and that's to stop you, well, it's basically to line everything up correctly. So it's a guide. So let's find that small one again. So it's much narrower, and then use that. That's it. So that one there. So what we're going to do then is we've got a nice new set of sprockets, and they're all together. So we've just got to look, find that narrow. So one of those is narrow. It's that one there. It's a narrow one. So that needs to go and line up with the narrowest. So these are complete, they're not individual. There you go, that's gone on. Okay, so that's nice lined up, and then all we've got to do, these are right for this bike. So this is 8 speed on the back, 32 teeth around here, 11 along the middle. So you just have to need to tighten this up. Right, to tighten it, you're not going to need that chainy thing. You can do it with this. Now, it's easy to know which direction to turn it, because when you screw it back on, you go in to know that that's the direction to go, which is to me, that's to you, that's the same as a clockwise. So we must be the same direction as you pedal as well. So we just don't want to be over aggressive. That's it. It's in place. Before we can fit it back on, we must put back the skewer. As you can see, it's got the spring on this end. I think that goes that way. The spring goes widest end towards the bike, towards the wheel rather. And that's this way round. Right then, now that's ready to go back on the bike. There we go. So that's on. Need to tighten this up. That's it. So that's it. Just check the gears. All went well until I tried fitting it back on the bike and noticed that this gear wasn't aligned. And the reason is that this is not is not held on all the way, even though the nut is on. There's all this play. So after doing a little bit more inspection, guess what? It's the wrong one. This is the one that came off, and if you look in the small print, HG31. Unfortunately, we zoom out. What have I bought? HG50 8-speed 1132. Oh dear, I'll have to go back and I'll have to buy the right one this time. Anyway, I'll show you the last bit when I got it back together, which will be tomorrow now. Okay, right, we have a little bit of time, so I was going to show you how to check the chain. If I'd done this when the chain, before the chain has stretched too far, I wouldn't have had to replace the sprockets. So you need a tool. Here's the one I'm using. I think this came from these people, but anything will, I think they're much the same. So basically you place one end of the chain at one end of this gauge, and the other end ideally wouldn't pass through. So that's 0.5%. Actually, yeah, that's 0.75. So that's gone past 0.75. What you need to do is check your chain. I've got the new chain here. It will obviously pass. So this is 0.5%. Had that gone through, then that chain will be 0.5% stretched. But hopefully the other side, which would be the 0.75, wouldn't go through. Therefore, I've got time. It's time to change, time to replace the chain before you get to the next step. If you're going to replace the chain, I recommend you use this tool, so as you can reattach this quick link, and that's then the best way to avoid damaging your sprockets. Chains apparently last 3,000 to 5,000 miles, but obviously depends how you ride. If you cycle up in gear 8 or gear 5, then obviously the chain will stretch quicker, and I hope that helps you to avoid all the effort of replacing your sprocket set. What I didn't know was that the chain was stretched and it was wearing on the smaller gears, and that was causing the gears to wear as well as the chain. Consequently, I was having to replace now the cassette at the back. The ring gear at the front's okay, but what I now know is to change to my higher gear on the front gear, so as on the biggest sprocket, and that way I don't cross chain. So in other words, I wouldn't wear my front derailleur, which is what I've done. I'll show you that. Well, always pays to look in the box, you know. Why? Because I found this packet. And in the packet there is the locking device. But guess what? What's this? This is the 8th gear. When I was showing you, what I was showing you wasn't 8 gears, it was 7. You're missing the 8th gear, and that will take up the gap. So we can carry on. Okay, right. So what's the difference, I hear you say? Well, apparently it's just a later version. HG50, a little bit more expensive than HG31. Probably the chrome plating or something. It's nice and shiny, obviously. Although I have ordered the HG31 rather, because it's black, but it's going to be exactly the same. In fact, it might even be slightly inferior. So I think we fit this. So we do as before. Got the wheel here. Line it up. Small groove, wherever it is. Right, open the door. I can see now. There we have it. The extra number 8's on there, and then put the locking. So that goes on there. No wonder why I couldn't get 8th gear. And then we get our tool. Take off the little rubber thing. And clockwise. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Should be tight enough. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 gears. 8 shiny gears. So this should work. Right, I can confirm it's working superb. You can select all the gears, no problem at all. Like the original problem before I changed the chain was that it was creaking, so when I was pressing down on the right pedal going uphill, it'll make a creak, but that was all. Then I changed the good old chain, and after that I had everything worked very nicely, except that it was slipping in the highest gears, 7 and 8, while on gear 2 at the front. But of course you don't want that because that could be dangerous, and consequently I realised that the worn stretched chain had worn out 7 and 8 on my cassette. So there you go. Now it's absolutely super. Anyway, happy riding. Cheers.